Hey guys, what's up? I know, crazy times call for crazy measures. I would like to go through the entire 20-day contingency plan, your activities every single day for the next 20 days. So up here in the corner, you're gonna see D1, that stands for day one, which is Monday today. Then we can go all the way through, including go down to D13. You can even scroll down further until we all the way get to D20 at the bottom. So what I would like to do, I would like to go through and help you with every single day's worksheet and activity in order to alleviate some stress and anxiety. So I'm doing this in one take, I'm not cutting anything together, so we're just gonna go through it. If you need to fast forward, like if you've already done day one, and you wanna go through to like day 3 or 4, just fast forward through the video, just take the little button dot thing and just move it over until you find the day that you want. Now remember, on your worksheets, there's something on the top of the paper that says day 12 or day 1 or day 3. Make sure that you're going on with the corresponding day. I am also going in order, so I'm just going down day 1 all the way through day 20, as well as I'm using the same exact examples, whether it's number 1 or number 2 for each one. So what I'm going to do up on the board is exactly what you're going to see on your activities while you're working on this at home. All right? Sounds good. Let's get started. So day 1 involves order of operations. It says solve in order, brackets, and then division, multiplication, addition, or subtraction. But realistically, we know about PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, as well as subtraction. All right, so looking at number 1 up here, I see it's 21. I know it might be hard to see over there, but follow along with your paper. 21 divided by, parentheses, 6 minus 3. So what I see right here that jumps out that's incredibly important are these parentheses right here. So in order of operations, I know that parentheses has to come first. So what do I have to do? I have to do whatever's in the parentheses first. So what I have is 6 minus 3. So 6 minus 3 is just 3. And if I rewrite the problem now, I just bring down my 21, divide by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 is my answer. Moving over here, I see no parentheses for example number 2. But I do see the next in line. I don't see any exponents. I don't see any multiplication. I do see division, so I have to take care of that division first. I see 27 divided by 9, so I have to divide 27 divided by 9, which is 3. And then I have to bring down my minus symbol and my 3. So what's 3 minus 3? It's 0. My answer is 0. Okay? And if I'm going too fast, this is the beauty of YouTube. You can always just rewind just a little bit and play it again. I'll get better at this as we go on too, because this is my first ever instructional YouTube video. So bear with me. That was day 1. Let's move on to day 2. So day 2 is all about finding the equivalent fraction, the equivalent decimal, and the equivalent percent. So over here we have an example problem. They already filled it in for us. Oh well. You have a 9%, which in fraction form, it's 9 out of 100. Just think about pennies and think about money. If you have 9%, you have 9 pennies out of a total of 100 pennies, which makes $1. And you have the decimal of 0.09. So in order to change a fraction to a decimal, or excuse me, a percent to a decimal, so if we're changing a percent to a decimal, we'll just say decimal. Again, first YouTube video ever. You must bump that decimal point over 2 spaces to the right. Excuse me, 2 spaces to the left. Sorry, bump decimal 2 spaces to the left. All right. So for example, 9% over here, if I have to change that percent to a decimal, I have to take my 9, I have to bump it over 2 spaces, 1, 2, and I have to put a 0 in front in order to get my decimal, which they did. Take a look. They bumped it over 2 spaces. All right. Also, in order to change it to a fraction, so I could change a decimal to a fraction. So decimal to fraction. I have to find out what place value the decimal is in. So if I'm going to use this point, I'm going to use 0.9 as an example. So 0.9, excuse me. The place value of the 0 and place value of the 9 are really important. The place value of the 0 is the tenths column, T-E-N-T-H-S, tenths. Sorry, my writing on this is really bad. And then over here on the 9, that place value is what's called the hundredths. And listen, when you change it from a decimal to a fraction form, you're going to need that 9. You're going to need that 9. So it's going to go over here. And I'm still doing the example problem. You're going to need that 9 and whatever it landed on place value wise. So if it landed on 9 or it ended on the hundredth place value, it's 9 over 100. Okay. Getting over to our decimals over here for our example number 1. We have the decimal, which is 0.86. We have the percent, which is 86%. What we don't have is the fraction. So if I use the decimal 0.86, I know that the 8 is in the tenths column. I know that the 6 is in the hundredths column. Oh, running out of room there. So what did I end on? I ended on the hundredths place value. So I know that my bottom number has to be out of 100. And I just use my decimal 0.86. I just change it to 86 over 100. All right, trust me, I'm gonna get better at this. We're doing it. It's my first time ever. So I don't know how many times I can use that excuse. Day 3, find the missing value. So this is all about proportions. So if we have our proportion, which is comparing 2 quantities, and we're trying to find something that's equal or the equivalent to it, to 2 quantities, you have a ratio compared to another ratio. So what we're looking for is this empty spot right here. So if I was to rewrite it, x over 60 equals 85 over 100, I am solving for x. How do we do that? We do it by cross products. So I'm cross producting my 85 times 60. I should have a calculator out. There we go. 85 times 60. 85 times 60, which is 5,100. And then I divide by the remaining number. So I divide by the remaining number. So 5,100. And then I divide by the remaining number of 100. Will get me an answer of 51. So x equals 51 as my remaining value. So under x over here, you could just say over the answer, x equals 51. Got it? And remember, you can always rewind to see the example again. Okay? Day 4, moving on, day 4. Using the set of numbers, find the mean, median, mode, and range. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different answers that you need for these problems for day 4, okay? The mean is, I hope you guys remember this. This should jog your memory just a little bit. The mean is the average of them all. So you have to add them all up, and divide by as many numbers in there as there is. So if I add up all of these and then I divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I should get my answer. So I'm going to add them up right now as we're doing this on the board. 89 plus 76 plus 85 plus 76 plus 77 plus 84. That gives me a total of 487. But I'm not done there. I have to divide by as the numbers, the amount of numbers that are actually in this set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have to divide by 6 in order to get the mean or the average. So 487 divide by 6. You're left with the mean value is 81.16. Think of these as test grades. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 test grades, and I want to find the average of all those grades. All right, so we're done there. You have the next is the median. The median is kind of weird in the fact that you have to line them up from smallest. I'm going to use the quiz grades as an example. Line them up from the smallest amount to the largest amount, and you have to order them from smallest to largest. So if I'm doing the median, I have to come over here and I have to figure out, well, which one's the smallest? So I'm going to start there. I see that 76 is probably the smallest, followed up by another 76. And I like to cross out or circle the ones I've already used. The next one in line is 77. I'll cross that one out. And I have 84. Cross that one out. I have 85 and 89. Now, when we get here for the median, you have to, what I like to do, I like to cross off the ends first and work my way in. So I'm crossing off the end to find the median or the middle. And now look, I can't cross off anymore because there's 2 left. So what you have to do here is find the mean of these 2. So it's 77 plus 84. 77 plus 84. 77 plus 84 is 161, and then you divide that by 2 since there's 2 numbers in your set. Your median is 80.5. We're good there? All right. Your mode is the number that occurs most often. So let me actually clear these numbers up so you guys can see them. There we go. All right, cool. Now, get out of there. Get out of there. Mode is the number that occurs most often. I have 89, 76, 85, 76 again, 77, and 84. Well, I can see obviously that 76 happens twice, and there's no other numbers that are doubled or renamed or duplicated. So if there's 2 76s in there and there are no other doubles of any other number, 76 has to be your mode. And last but not least, your range. Wow, writing on this thing is awful. Your range is basically the highest number minus your lowest number. Your highest number minus your lowest number. And since we lined them up for the median, I see that my highest number is 89 and my lowest number is 76. 89 minus 76, 9 minus 6 is 3, 8 minus 7 is 1. So my range is 13. Now remember, I know this was a long one, so please just go back, rewind if you have to. I went through all of them. Remember, mean is the average. Median is the middle number. And if you have 2 numbers as the middle number, you have to use the mean of those 2 in order to get your median. The mode is the number that occurs most often, and your range is the highest number minus your lowest number. All right, day 5, moving on. Holy moly. What is this? This is determining change for one cost for one item. So it says right here, Rachel bought a book at the store, at the book fair. If the books cost $3.75 each, she paid with a $20 bill. How much change she should get back from the register? So I'm looking around the store. I see an awesome book for $3.75, and all I have is a $20 bill on me. So I take my $20 bill. And I go up to the cash register, and I give the lady rings up my book. My book costs $3.75. How much change should I get back? $20 minus $3.75. Now you can use a calculator if you need to. So remember, I paid with a 20. The book costs $3.75. I should be getting a decent amount of change back. That change will be $16.25. I should be walking out of the store with my book as well as $16.25 as change. Cool. Moving on. I'm gonna see if this is still recording. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's keep it going. All right. What digit is in the tens place in the number 35,176? Now remember, we have to figure out what is place value, or what are the spaces for place value. So here's my decimal point right there. To the left, our first space is our ones column. The next one over is our tens. I know, forgive me for my writing, it's not that good on here. The next one is the hundredths. The next one is the thousands. And last but not least is the 10,000s. So, when it asks me what digit is in the tens place in the number 35,176, well, since I just wrote out all my place value spots, I can just fill it in, can't I? I can start with a 6. I got 7, 1, 5, 3. That makes the same number as I have in my problem, 35,176. So, when it asks me what digit is in the tens place, all I have to do is look down here, and what is it? It is a 7. So my answer is 7. Perfect. All right? Remember, you can always rewind if you need to. Day 7. Which choice has an 8 with the value of 800 or 800ths? What this question really means is, what option has an 8 in the hundredths place? What option has an 8 in the hundredths place? So if I start with my place value, we have ones, tens, hundredths. I really only need to find an 8 in that third space over to the left. So I have ones here. I have tens here. Whoa, that didn't work. There we go. Tens, and I have hundredths right here. Holy moly, this is really bad to write on. My handwriting in general is terrible anyway. So, moving over here, I have a 3 in the ones, I have an 8 in the tens, and I have a 5 in the hundredths. I can't do that one because it's not there. The 8 is not in the hundredth spot. I have a 4 in the one spot, a 2 in the 10 spot, and an 8 in the hundredths. That's looking like my answer, but I'm going to check the last two just to make sure. I have a 3 in the ones, I have a 7 in the tens, and I have a 5 in the hundredths. That can't be it either. Am I wasting my breath? Maybe. I have an 8 in the ones. Well, I know that's not it because the 8 needs to be over in the hundredths. So this one is not it either. So my answer is B. All right, moving on. So, express the value shown. So, again, back to place value. We have 3 10,000s, 55,000s, 500, 26 tens, and 2 ones. All right? Here is the deal. All you have to do is place your numbers in the appropriate spaces. So take a look. I'm going to start off again with my place value spots. If this is ones, This is tens. This is hundredths. Hundredths, excuse me, and thousands over here. So, looking at number one, I have 6 thousandths. 49 tenths. 49 tenths. Now remember, 49 in the tenths column is essentially saying 49 times 10. So 49 tenths, think about that. If I had 49 dimes, how many pennies should I have? 490. Or if I had 49 dimes, how much money should I have? I should have $4.90. So 49 tenths, 49 times 10 is 490. So 400, oh boy, 409, but we're forgetting about one thing. We have 7 ones. So instead of 490, I have to also include the 7 in the ones column. So my answer for number one is 6,497. Good there? All right, moving on. I really hope these helps, guys. I really hope these helps. Oh, clocks. Matching the analog clock on the top to the digital clock on the bottom. This is day 9. All right, so what I didn't include is all the matching answers on the bottom, but let's take a look at our time. Remember, the big hand is the hours. Big hand is the hours. Big hand or short, the short fat big hand, we could say short, just to make sure we're not confusing anybody. The short big hand is the hours. The long skinny, we could say the long skinny hand. Writing on this is terrible. The long skinny hand is the minutes. Wow, that is terrible. All right, so I see that big skinny hand, whoa, there it goes, dropped it. Hope it still works. I see that the big skinny hand is not only past the 6, but it's also past the 7, but it's not quite at the 8. So the big skinny hand, the hour hand, is on the 8. And looking at the minutes, and if I know that they go by 5, so we got 5, 10, 15, 20, I'm doing minutes now, 25, and we have 30 at the bottom, and we have 35, we have 40. I'll just do them all. 45, we have 50, and then 55, and then back to 0. So I see that my minute hand is really close to 40, but it's not quite there. It's just about 40, so maybe we could say it's 8:38. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to the bottom of the paper, find the letter that matches. So if it's E equals 838, your answer over here will be E. Good to go? All right. Remember, you can always rewind if you need to. You can always even shoot me an email. Hey, I'm having trouble on day 9. Can you give me any more information or help me out a little bit more? I'd be glad to do that. Moving on to day 9, day 11. Where's day 10? Oh man, I gotta put day 10 in there real quick. Hold tight. Oh man, I forgot day 10. Don't worry, I'll do it. 1 second. How do you keep someone in suspense? I will tell you later. Let's see, new page. Let's see if I can duplicate that. All right, change this to a 10. We'll go from there. So day 10. You know what? I'm gonna actually clear it. Duplicate, copy, Insert page. Oh, okay. I know how to do it now. Let's delete it. So we got day 9 and we need to go to day 10. So let's insert page, blank page after current. This one is day 10. Day 10, and let's figure out what we're doing for day 10. Oh man, I even exit out of those windows too. Oh well. No worries, I'll get it up really quick. Day 10. Let's go to my plans. Geez, we're only halfway through. Go to my plans over here. Just looking for day 10, that's all I'm doing. Day 11, day 10, reading analog clocks. All right, yeah, so I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Must have got tossed in there somewhere, so I'm gonna cut this out. Determine the time shown on the clock. And I'm just gonna blur a couple out because we really don't need 2 examples. All right, I'm gonna take this, right click it, copy it, and throw it in day 10 as our activity. I don't know what happened there. Okay, yeah, you know what, I just skipped it. Oh well, but that's not a big mistake there. All right, so let's go to day 10. We're back. Woo! Day 10. Man, talk about doing this in one take. I promised no redos, no edits or anything like that. Determine the time shown, like we talked about for our last one on day 9. The small hand, we could just say the small hand. Small hand is the hours. The small hand's the hours, the long hand, or the big hand, long hand, equals the minutes. So looking over here, I see my small hand is in between 3 and 4, so it's still in hour 3. So there's my first part of my answer. And I know that since the long hand is the minute hand, I have to count by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So the time is 3:40. 3:40. All right. So my answer, I think there's an answer box over here. 3:40. Woo! All right. Moving back on here. Day 11. Draw the hour and minute hand. So before you had to match and then you had to write the time given. Now you are literally drawing the hands. So draw the hour and minute hand on the clock so they represent the time shown. I have up here, this is a really confusing clock and they're going to give you a couple different kinds, but this is called Roman numerals, and don't worry, it's the same clock. 12:56. I know that the 12 goes right here. If I was to draw the arrows, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hour 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then back to 12. Our minutes go by 5s. So this is on the outside, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh man, worst 5 ever. Oh geez. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then we have 55, and then we're back to 0 on the minutes. All right, so if I had to draw, my first time I have to draw is 12:56. I know that my shorthand, the hour hand, has to go straight to the 12, and let me make it a little bit bigger to distinguish the hour hand. There's my hour hand going to 12, and then my minute hand has to go to 56, which I know it's 1 past 55. So what comes after 55? 56. So there goes the pen again. Wow, fumble. So I literally have to draw my minute hand straight from the 56, straight down, trying my best to keep it nice and straight, and I need an arrow at the top. That's 12:56. Good to go? All right, good luck. Day 12. All right, here we go. We're talking about ratios. Now remember, ratios are comparing 2 quantities. So in this case, our 2 quantities that we're comparing are moons as well as circles. Now, if you're comparing moons to circles, your counting of the moons have to go on top, and your circles have to go on the bottom. This kind of confused me for the first time I looked at this, because I was like, wait a second, moons are also round. And I messed it up. I mean, that's just me, that's my thinking. But looking back, I'm like, wait a second. They're talking about crescent moons, okay? So crescent moons are these C-looking moons, so you have to count them all up. All right, so I like to usually just put a dot on the ones I already counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So how many moons? We have 15 moons. And how many circles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your ratio of moons to circles is 15 to 6. You can also display it as 15 colon 6. It's the same thing, okay? 15 moons to 6 circles. Cool. All right, day 13, we're getting there. Day 13. Here we go. This one is actually just comparing ratios. For every 2 male birds in a bird cage, there are 5 females. So it's really important. I would first ask, what are we comparing? Well, we're comparing males to females. You can just follow along with your paper if you have that out, or have it on a side window, doesn't matter. So we're comparing 2 males to females. Those are the 2 quantities we're comparing with this ratio problem. It says, what is the ratio of males to females? Well, in one bird cage, I'm going to find 2 males to every 5 females. You can answer it just like that, 2 over 5, as long as you keep your categories the same, 2 males, 5 females, or you can just write it as a ratio this way, 2 males, colon, to 5 females. M for males, females, or excuse me, F for females. Cool. Wow, this is called one take. This is doing it all in one shot. Day 14. Here we go. We are solving for a missing section of this. All right, we're actually solving for ratios and percents. So what is 150% of 18? I know we went over this a lot in detail the past couple months, but you have a formula you need to use. Remember, when it's a proportion and we're solving for the part or the whole, the is the part, the of is the whole, and then you're equaling that to a given percent, which will give you over 100. So let's fill it in. Number 1, what is 150% of 18? Well, what do I know from this problem? If I was to make a blank proportion, what is? We don't know what that is. So obviously our is section, which is this top left, is going to be x. 150%, I told you they would give you a percent, so your 150 has to go here. I know that it's always underneath 100 in the bottom right corner. So 100 is going to go there in my bottom right corner. Of is the whole. They give you that. It's 18. So my 18's got to go there. And now, just like in the previous day, you had to solve for the missing part, which is the is, or the part of the proportion. So how am I going to solve for this? Well, you can cross product here, 150 times 18, and then you can divide by the remaining number. So in my calculator, I'm going to multiply 150 times 18, and then divide by my remaining number of 100. So divide by 100, and your answer is 27. So my answer is 27. So what is 150% of 18? Your answer is 27. Number 2, what is 100% of 158? This is a trick question, and I'll show you in a second why. But what do we know so far? Well, I do have to make a proportion, one ratio equal to another ratio. I also have to start filling in stuff that I already know. Of 158, I know that of 158 goes down here, 158, because that's in the bottom left corner. I know that automatically a 100 goes here. What is, we're not sure, so I have to represent that as x. And I have 100%, which needs to go right here. All right, just like we did before, cross product, 158 times 100, and then divide by the remaining number, which is of 100, which you're still going to get x equals 158. Oh man, a bad 8 there. That's an even worse 8. So x equals 158. Now, why is this a trick question? What is 100% of 158? It's 158. You have 100% of it. So it's just 158. Cool. All right. Day 15. We're making it. We got 5 left. Here we go. Solve each problem. Round the answer to the nearest 100th. Here we go again. We have our ratio. Here's a little cheat sheet. We have our is goes on top. The of, which is the whole, goes on the bottom. We have it over 100. And we need the percent. Got it? So let's fill it in. Number 1. 16 is. 16 is, so I know that the 16 goes on the top of my proportion. What percent? Do we know what the percent is? No, so we gotta throw an X there. Of 75, 75 should go in the bottom left then, and 100 always goes in the bottom right. So how do I solve it? Great question. I cross product and I divide by the remaining number. So if you didn't get that, just rewind. I cross product and divide by the remaining number. 16 times 100, and then I divide by the remaining number of 75. You're left with 21. So x equals 21.33%. Because I'm looking for the percent. What percent? I'm looking for that. So cross product, divide by the remainder, you'll get your answer of 23.33%. Number 2, 23 is what percent of 90? So I'm going to make a proportion, a blank proportion, and start filling it in based off of what I know I can fill in. Okay? What is, 23 is, so 23 goes on the top left. What percent? Well, I don't know, so I'm going to have to throw an X there. Of 90, I know of goes on the bottom right, so 90 has to go down here. And what is always on the bottom right? 100. Let me make sure this is still recording. Cool, still recording. Excellent. So I'm almost done. I hope my phone doesn't die. So what I'm going to do, in order to solve for the missing percent, I'm going to cross product, 23 times 100, and divide by the remaining number. So 23 times 100 is 2300. Divide by the remaining number, which is 90. And we will get our x equals 25.55%. What percent? 23 is what percent of 90? It's 25.55%. Okay? All right. Day 16. Day 16. Ah, here we go. Graphing inequalities. This is a lot of fun. All right? Let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. All right, remember. Let's go over some rules real quick. We have less than or equal to. We have greater than or equal to. Both of those are closed circles. My handwriting on here is so bad. Closed circles, all right? And those are both greater than or equal to. So in addition, we also have less than or greater than. And they are open circles. Now, the reason why these are closed and these are open is that greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, they can be greater than or equal to that number or less than or equal to that number. And open circles, it can't be that number, but it can be anything greater or anything less than that. So, for example, we have x is, how I read this, x is less than or equal to 180. So, since it's less than or equal to, it's right there. I have to use a closed circle on 180. So I'm just going to put a closed circle there. And since it's anything less than that, less than 180, I have to put my arrow to the left. So I'm literally just going to draw an arrow over top, the worst arrow ever. And there's my answer. I just graphed it. That's all you have to do. All right, moving on. Day 17. Not day 10. There's day 10. Oh my gosh, I was looking for that. See, I knew I did it. It was just not in the right spot. I'm going to delete this. All right. Anyway, day 17. Okay. Write an inequality to express the number line. So this is day 17. Remember, greater than or equal to or less than or equal to always have closed circles. Man, it is really hard to write on this. Did I say that already? They have closed circles. So you're going to see ones that have closed circles, then you have to either use greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. In addition, we have greater than or less than. They have open circles. Again, this is just all review. So you have an open circle that just looks like that. Okay? So I have to write the inequality to express what's on the number line. So I have a 0 with an open circle. So I'm going to represent that as x. We have open circles. And is it greater than 0? I believe so. So any number that is greater than the number 0. So x is greater than 0. How I got that? It started on 0, so that's my x. Any number that's greater than that going to the right. Since it's open circle, I have to use a greater than or less than symbol. So I know that it's greater than because it's anything more than x. So x is greater than 0. Cool. All right. Day 18. Wow, we're really moving here. Day 18. Solve each problem. Write the option that best shows x is greater than negative 16. So I know that, first of all, I should go greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. All have closed, which means darkened circles. And greater than or less than all have open circles. So if my example says which option shows the best one, it says x is greater than negative 16, can't I just cross out all the ones that have closed circles? Because I'm looking for ones that have open circles. So which ones have closed circles? It can't be B, because it has a closed circle, because it says greater than, not greater than or equal to. I can also cross out D, because that also has a closed circle. So remember, any number, x, that's greater than negative 16. So that arrow, let me give you a little hint here. The inequality symbol, the way it's pointing is the way in which the arrow has to go. So if my greater than symbol is pointing that way, I have to pick the answer in which the arrow is also pointing that way. So I know that it can't be A because the arrow is pointing in the wrong direction. And it says right here, x is greater than negative 16. So any number that is greater than 16, negative 16, excuse me, including negative 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 to infinity, it has to be C is your answer. All right, a couple more. Determine the value as written as a fraction, decimal, and percent. So I'm going to give you a little hint here for people that are doing and watching this YouTube video. This right here, I've counted them all up. The fraction is out of 100 possible squares. How do I know that? Well, you can either do it a couple ways. You can count literally every single box, or you can count a top line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you can also count a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know that 10 times 10 is 100. So that's where I get the bottom of my fraction. The shaded area, since I know these are rows of 10, I see one shaded area row of 10, I see another shaded area row of 10, I see another one right there, I also see another shaded area row of 10. Actually, sorry, no I do not. It's really kind of hard to see on the board. I see half of the row. Let me see, let me just roll back real quick. I see a row of area of 10 right there. I have another shaded area of 10. I have another shaded area of 10. And then I have just a few in here. So I'm going to get to them in a minute. Since I know it's out of 100, I can count up these rows of 10. So we got 1, we got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So these are all rows of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then I do have to count up that middle one that is not a full row of 10. 61, 2, 3, 4, 65, 66, 67. So out of 100 possible little tiles, 67 of them are shaded. What's the decimal? Well, you take the top, if you want to use a calculator, you can take the top, the numerator, divide by the denominator, and that'll give you your decimal of 0.67. 0.67. And you also have a percent. So if my decimal is 0.67, how do I change a decimal to a percent? I have to bump this decimal place over 2 spaces to the right, 1, 2, and then throw my percent symbol in there. So the percent is 67%. So my fraction is 67 out of 100. My decimal is 0.67, and my percent is 67%. All right, guys, here we go. Last one. Converting from a decimal to a fraction is simple as long as you can remember the place values. So we have our tens, our ones, and our decimal point, and then we get smaller. Tenths, hundredths. So I know my place value for this 0.1 is in the tenths column. So I could just kind of write a 1 right there and just figure it out. So 0.1, if I'm converting it from a decimal to a fraction, I have how many? I have 1, whatever it's in, whatever place value it's in, 1 tenths. Pretty easy, right? Move on to number 2. And that's why I left this graphic organizer up there for you, so you can place your numbers in there if you need to, or you can just redo it on a separate sheet of paper and just keep erasing and put new numbers in. I have a 9 in the tenths, and I have a 5 in the hundredths. So here's my 9, and here's my 5. In order to change it to a fraction, I write my 9 and 5, and then what did I end on? Well, it ended on the 5, which is in the hundredths column, so 95 out of 100. All right, holy moly. We just went through 20 days worth of lessons, and we had a lot of fun. We shared laughs, I dropped the pen a bunch of times, and let me tell you, we had a great time, okay? I didn't even tell you any jokes. I kind of did, but what do you call an illegally parked frog? Toad. Okay, forget it. All right, tough crowd over here. But anyway, guys, here's our 20 days, okay? If you need any help, please email me, all right? Please please email me. My email is bweber@msemail.org, and you can reach me there. All right, I'm going to post this YouTube video not only on Google Classroom, but it's going to be on my plans. It's going to be on the plans under. It's going to be under YouTube video how-to. And listen, whatever day you're on, if you're on day 10, just fast forward or rewind to get to the day that you need, all right? And don't be embarrassed. Please just ask a question if you need it. I'm right here, even though I'm on your screen, I'm not in front of you, but I'm still here to answer anything you might have. So please, it's been great, all right? It's my first ever YouTube video. I promise I'll get better at it. I hope I didn't bore you to death or make you fall asleep, but please come back to this video and use it as much as possible. All right? Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay safe in this crazy time that we're in right now, and I'm sure we'll be back together in no time. Have a great day. This is Mr. Weber signing off.